Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. Whenever she went out, the little girl wore a red riding cloak, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother. That's a good idea, her mother said, so they packed a nice basket for Little Red Riding Hood to take to her grandmother. When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red cloak, kissed her mother, and said goodbye. Remember, go straight to Grandma's house, her mother cautioned. Don't dawdle along the way, and please don't talk to strangers. The woods are dangerous. Don't worry, Mommy, said Little Red Riding Hood. I'll be careful. But when Little Red Riding Hood noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to her mother. She picked a few, watched the butterflies flit about for a while, listened to the frogs croaking, and then picked a few more. Suddenly the wolf appeared beside her. What are you doing out here, little girl? The wolf asked in a voice as friendly as he could. I am on my way to see my grandma, who lives through the forest near the brook, Little Red Riding Hood replied. Then she realized how late she was and quickly excused herself, rushing down the path to her grandma's house. The wolf in the meantime took a shortcut, arrived at Grandma's house and knocked lightly at the door. The wolf let himself in, where Granny did not have time to say another word before the wolf gobbled her up. The wolf burped happily and then looked through Granny's closet to find a nightdress he liked. He also put on a frilly cap and even used some of Granny's perfume behind his ears. Few minutes later, Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. The wolf jumped into the bed and pulled the covers over his nose. "Who's it?" he called in a cackly voice. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, how lovely. Do come in, my dear," croaked the wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize her grandmother. "Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something the matter?" she asked. "Oh, I just have a touch of cold," squeaked the wolf, adding a cough at the end to prove the pain. "But grandmother, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood as she edged closer to the bed. "The better to hear you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "But grandmother, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to hear you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "But grandmother, what big feet you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to eat you with, my dear," roared the wolf, and he leaped out of the bed and began to chase the little girl. Almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandmother but a hungry wolf. She ran across the room and through the door, shouting, "Help, wolf," as loudly as she could. A woodsman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. The woodsman knocked out the wolf and carried him deep into the forest where he wouldn't bother people any longer. He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out the poor. "Oh, Grandma, I was so scared," sobbed Little Red Riding Hood. "I'll never speak to stranger or dawdle in the forest again." Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma had a nice lunch and a long chat.